Dr. Cindy Davis Evans with the Cindy Davis Show. My guest today needs no introduction. She is a friend of the show. But for those who don't know, she is a decorated songstress and actress who has worked with Barbra Streisand, Ralph Johnson of Earth, Wind and Fire, and countless others. Here to talk about her new single, It Starts With Me and More. Welcome to the show, award-winning Lettrice Lawrence.
Mhm.
So what have you been up
Sounds like
to
a lot.
since, what have you been up to since you were last here?
Well, I have been preparing for these TV shows, and we had a lot of things to work out, especially after the strike. That was
Yeah,
a mess. So we
yeah.
had to figure out the investors and change the agency we were dealing with, and remove a few people that was in the show.
Oh,
So let's just say I'm gonna have two-star roles in the Lisa Mahogany and all about the Richmonds. So I'm excited.
yeah. Well, that's something to
Right.
be excited about.
Yeah. So we start
Yeah,
filming in November. So excited about that. I
yeah.
have this audition I can't talk about. It's kind of secret, but it's huge.
Wow.
And I'm excited about it. I'm really excited. When I can talk about it, I'm going to talk about it, but it's actually really big.
Oh, you got to
And
tell me about that now. You got to let me know as soon as you know, because I'm
I
excited
will. I
for you.
will.
You are
I
such a
will.
great talent. I heard you sing live for the first time when I was in LA at the Enthrone Awards honors, and
Hmm.
I'm telling you, your voice is so beautiful, and the way
Oh,
you
well, I am.
captivate the
I
audience,
really received that. I feel good about that. Thank you.
the way you
But I
capture
have
the
to say though,
audience, though, you really connect with the audience, and that song you sung by Natalie Cole, um, "Inseparable" was one of my favorite.
oh, Inseparable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Inseparable is one of my favorites also. And I have to say that my nose is peeling. I'm sorry about that. I don't know. This weather is so weird with us, with our skin. People think, okay, we have to worry about the sun and sunscreen, but yeah, we do actually. I'm
Yeah,
peeling. Um,
that's okay. No,
I
no,
have
you
to
can.
say, I have to say that that was a really beautiful experience for me. And singing is not just singing; it's about ministry.
Mhm.
And you don't know what someone's going through, and a lot of times in this industry, people want to give up because it's such an ugly business. People act so ugly and have ill intentions sometimes, when you're working in the industry. And it starts with me really talks about those things, not letting outside forces stop you from being on your path and stop you from what God has given you to do. And it's really important that we do that because it's easy to get distracted. It is easy to get sidetracked when you look at the outside. And so the song It Starts With Me is about, looking in the mirror and not losing touch of who you are and basically staying on the path so that you can reach others. And some people get it right away, but some people don't. But now that, of course I redid it and it's a remix, people really love the remix and they are liking and it's being played on more and more stations, which I'm happy about. So three more stations asked for me to play it on the stations. I was really happy about that. And I have I just did this show and we honored Peggy Blue because she just passed from
Yes,
a bad heart. And she was a very
yes.
influential singer. She was a voice teacher on American Idol, and she was a R&B pop singer back in the 80s, 70s and 80s and 90s. And she was just a force to be reckoned with. She had a beautiful voice, and
Yes, you
she
did.
helped a lot of people. And so the exciting part was she loved Royal Blue, and I like Royal Blue too. So it was great meeting her, and I met her through my cousin Lamar, Lubin, and I met her through my friend Denise Laurie. And so singing for that show was an honor because there was so many different people, so many different types of singing. It was just outstanding. Keith Borden is something to be reckoned with, and a lot of those other people, Lacey, um, he's been in theater for years. There's a lot of people that came with different angles, R&B, theater. So we all came together and sang Saturday. I have this thing I'm singing at Saturday all day. It's the 116th anniversary type of event, and I'm singing for that. And I have some other upcoming things. And then November, I'm going to be singing at the Stuffed Potato again, November
Oh,
2nd. And so hopefully this year I'll be singing again with the Philharmonic because last year for Christmas I sang the Lacme duet, the famous French duet. I
mm-hmm.
sang that with a friend of mine for the Christmas holidays, and we sang Christmas holiday songs as well. And I did the lead to Joyful, Joyful, which is the old joy. And it was just really awesome. And so I'm going to Greece in October to sing with the Episcopal Chorale as a lead principal. And I'm
Sounds
really
exciting.
excited about that as well. Yeah, so I'm excited. It's really
How do you
awesome.
how do you decide what songs you sing at these events?
Oh, that's a really good question. You know, it depends on what type of event it is.
Yeah.
And I like to promote my new songs. But when they ask for specific songs or specific themes, I go with specific themes.
Mm,
But I like to, I try to see what kind of audience I'm going to have to make those judgments too. Because if you have an older audience, you want to come with something really old school that they can relate to.
mm, mhm.
And then you want to bring your song on as well. I think it ushers in uh, our music individually better. And I think they really take to my music more because it kind of blends with like an old school song. Like one time I sang It's Gonna Take a Miracle, Denise Williams.
Yeah.
And I tied that in with taking it back at an event. And it went well. They were like, oh, okay. They were able to really get into it. So
Yeah.
it have to know your audience. Your
Mm,
delivery has to be strong and you have to build and you really have to be authentic. I like to peel away all layers in front of my audience so they see me raw. I think it's better that way because they really get a sense of who you are and they can really get that connection with you. And
How
so,
do you peel away the layers so they see you? Um,
hmm,
what?
well, for me, I have to really pray and center myself before the performance.
Uh-huh.
And when I walk up there, I decide, you know what, I don't want this to be about me. I want this to be about the song. I want this to be about the delivery of the song. What am I trying to say here? So, in the case of taking it back, our our health, and it's just really important, you know, that's reiterated. And I just think that that was what was important to me because I thought about George Floyd and when
Mm,
he was calling for his mom and he couldn't breathe,
yeah.
that was like so important to me. So I said we have to take back our power. And I
Mhm.
think that's where it was for me with that song. So when I sing that song, I'm illustrating that we have to take back our power. I actually, you know, throw my fist up and get into it. And
Mhm.
then, I really, really make a big deal about it. And, you know, I know that in some cases I sound like I'm near crying at the end of the song. It's emotional because that's where I'm it, at. I'm like, I get sick and tired of crying, so sick of all the lying,
Yeah.
asking why. Because that's what you do when you see all the
Yeah.
killing and the murdering and all the stuff with the pandemic and the way of the world. Even now it relates because there was someone else that was killed, Sandra, the latest victim. And then this whole thing with the politics and people wanting to argue about that and
Yeah.
the ugliness of the world and the prejudice and ugliness in the world. So I downright get emotional. I get mad in the song, but then I get emotional in the song to show that
Mhm.
it really is breaking my heart. And how can we solve it together, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's important for people to understand how important that is, you know.
I think a lot of people
So
can resonate with that song because it is such a powerful it is such a powerful song, and people can relate to it even in their own lives, their own personal lives. Um, who wrote your song, your latest song that you have?
um me
It
and my
starts with B.
producers, yes. Brandon Ford and Devin Shaw wrote it with me
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I really delved in and started writing it because it was almost like a letter, a story, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
because I mirror and I felt like pieces of me were breaking away because of so much of what I was dealing with. When I was
Oh.
taking care of my mother,
Uh-huh.
um, industry stuff, pe- radio stations that were negative, all
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And I mean, it was just a bunch of things going on. And I said, I don't want this to pull away from who I am.
Yeah.
So I said, I need to really focus on really staying on track and recentering myself so all the people could see all these things about me that were great,
Yeah.
So yeah.
You have
So
seven
I
out. Go ahead.
no 7 octaves.
I was going to comment about your 7 octaves. That is incredible because you also sing opera as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I had a trainer, God rest his soul, he just passed in January, and he taught me for 34 years. And he really taught me how to deal with the core of my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so I learned how to sing very low because I had to give vocal instruction and teach men in the group that I was teaching. So I learned to go really low in my vocal register. And then, of course, work on and maintain the highs, the whistling register technique and my head voice. And that's a lot of work, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that I did have this training and that I still work on these things because it's important for the life of your vocals and
Mm-hmm.
that you won't sing wrong and get nodules and all these other things and problems. So it's better to sing really good like that. If you want to sing well and you
Yeah.
want to have a healthy voice, you have to do it properly and sing from your diaphragm. And so many people sing from their throat and their nose. And oh God, it's just horrible. And you're just like, really? And I know people have their little styles, and
Yeah.
I'm welcoming of all kind of different styles, but
Yeah.
I always am a stickler about people singing right,
Yeah.
singing
Yeah.
correct, as
And you've
long as
sung
you
with
sing
some
correctly.
you've sung with some
Huh?
of every you've done background vocals for a lot of uh legends, Barbra Streisand, just
Yeah,
one.
Herman Andrews used to be with Andre Crouch,
Uh-huh.
Clifton Davis at his church. I sang at the BB King Club, and
Wow.
I sang in this choral ensemble at the Hollywood Bowl in 2022. Uh, was it Wynton Marsalis actually, and that was an amazing experience. He's a great guy. It's really great, and he mixed samba and jazz and
Mm-hmm.
bossa nova and
Yeah.
12-tone series music. It was great. Show tunes. It was really great. He had like 12 movements of music that was just, I mean, out of sight. It was awesome. And
That is amazing.
yeah, I felt so honored, to be there at the Hollywood Bowl. It was great. And I've gotten a chance to work with a member of the Earth, Wind and Fire group, Ralph Johnson, and I've helped like develop some songs with him and his sister. We developed songs with him, and we
Yeah.
helped develop a song called "A Very Merry Christmas" a couple
Oh,
of years back. And guess who ended up buying it?
who did the
Saida
what?
Garrett. Saida Garrett ended up buying it. It was an
Oh,
awesome song. Yeah, it's called "Very Merry Christmas."
yeah. Well,
Me
that's
and
awesome.
Ralph, yeah, me and Ralph Johnson and his sister Pamela Johnson, we worked on that and we were able to do that. So it was great. I was like, I thought it was really cool. And I don't talk about this often, but I got to sing for the Barry White before at this show in studio industry. And and we were all singing the blues and just singing. And I sang Stormy Monday from the Almond Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And he was right there taking it in. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. So, I mean, that's when you get nervous when you have the pros like that come and check
Yeah.
you out.
Yeah.
But I was really excited about it. And just the other day when I was singing, this guy that used to write songs for Whitney was there. And
Mm-hmm.
he came up to me and I was like, oh my God, I was blown away. And he was like, oh my God, I've never heard Memory sung this way, the way we
Oh,
were. You took it and
oh.
flipped it. And I said, well, Gladys did it. And that was my girl. I grew up listening to her. That was like one of my dad's favorite artists,
Oh,
aside from
I
Tina
see.
Turner. Yeah. And so yeah, it was really cool because that was really an awesome experience. So I, I really was happy to do that. But I tell you, I've had some experiences with some wonderful people. I sang at the Heroes in the Struggle one year, and they honored Gabby Sidibe and
Mm-hmm.
uh, Earl Johnson Jr. Um, Let me see, and who else? They Lettice, and then they honored Billy Porter. And so me and Jacob Less from the Gabriels, we sang that song that Yolanda Adams and Donnie McCurtain sings, "The Prayer," but originally it was by Celine Dion
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
André Bocelli. But we sang it with an orchestra,
Uh,
and it was amazing, and it was a lot of people there. It was just really wonderful, and I've been blessed to really sing at some classy venues, and I thank God for that.
is there
Thank God for
anyone?
the opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. Is there anyone that you would like to work with that you haven't worked with? Uh,
Yeah, a few people. I'd like to work with Teddy Riley.
oh, really?
He's awesome.
Uh,
I'd like to work with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
really?
And
Okay, from
I
the
would love to
90s.
work with, yeah, I'd love to work with David Foster. And I'd love to work with, I've thought about this and I said, do I really want to work with this guy? But let me tell you, B. Slade is a genius in the studio. He comes up with some very interesting music, and he's very, very talented.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that he takes risks, and his voice is so broad. Oh my God, his range is extensive.
Who is this again?
So
I'm sorry, I think I missed the name.
B. Slade, he used to be
Oh, D Swain.
I know in church you probably have heard of him being referred to as Tonex. Remember Tonex back in the day?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Okay, well now his name is B Slade, you know, so
Oh,
I
okay.
thought, you know, because he's really gifted. That man is really talented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so a lot of people, he's worked with Janet lately, like on some of her touring. He's
Uh-huh.
worked with her. Yeah. Hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
it is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so wow, this has been some chat. You have such an array of talent and people that you've worked with. How did it feel to receive a honor with Enthrone Records? I think it was your second one, correct?
yes, it was my
Yeah.
second one. I was
Okay.
really excited about it. The first time that I got it, my mom had just passed, and this was for taking it back, and I couldn't fight the tears. It was just so amazing, such an honor. This time, you know, I just was like, oh my God, this is so incredible. And it was incredible where we had it at the, you know, at the Catalina Jazz Bar. And it was just incredible to see so many legends being celebrated. It's such as yourself, you know,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, the
seeing
honor.
you, it just made me feel good to see my brother and sister. And it just, I said, yes, you know, it was so exciting. And, you know, it
Yeah.
was really warm and you could feel the love in the room. And
Yeah.
this was very positive. I'm really grateful to Andre Pittman. He's been good to me all these years. And, you know, we have been a team and
Yeah.
I appreciate him, you know, and
Yeah.
I can't say that I can say this during the pandemic, he taught me to keep busy and he taught
Uh,
me to reinvent myself and he taught me to be do photography and advertisements.
he's an
You know,
inspiration.
I found out things I could do that I didn't even know I could do. So it
Wow.
was like
Wow.
incredible. So I thank God for him and you know, and I thank God for, you know, my producers because they've been very steadfast with me and you know, they've been very, you know,
Yeah.
very, very supportive and I just love all of them. You know, they've just been very, very dependable, very
Yeah.
dependable. And I thank God I couldn't have it any other way, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be working with people like um, Kenny Tomlin, who's worked with the Bus Boys, and you know, and worked with different people who knows people in commission, and you know, he's played for a lot of people all over. But he's an excellent songwriter, singer, and bassist. So I plan on working with him really soon.
Well, we
Yeah.
are certainly looking forward to all your music and your projects and your movies and everything that is coming out. I thank you so much for stopping by to update us about what you're up to. It's always wonderful to talk to my friend Lettrice. Yay. Thank you so much for being
Likewise.
here.